Now, there's a few things that I love more than studio DIY stuff. In this video, I want to talk to you about a little thing that we're going to make that's going to keep our paint fresh for hopefully forever. Well, this is a stay fresh, keep fresh palette saver. I get a ton of messages and comments and people wanting to know, what do I do with the extra oil paint at the end of my studio painting session? I don't want to waste all this expensive oil paint, but also, how do I deal with my oil paints when I'm painting out in the field? So I got a couple of sizes that I'm going to use, and these are going to be perfect for the pochade box, as I said, but also here in the studio. So what have we got? Well, we've got PVC pipe, right? So I've got my two different widths here. Now inside this PVC pipe, I've got a little bit of aluminum channel, and then we've got some end cap. These are just glue-on end caps, and we're gonna stick these on the one end and cement them in on one end of our pipe. And then on the other end, what we've got is a collar that will glue into place, and it's got a screw-on lid. That's it, basically. It's gonna be a super simple project, and this is gonna give us something that's gonna keep our paint fresh. Now, I haven't actually made one of these yet, but I think the theory is pretty strong. Here's some other stuff you're gonna need for this project. You're gonna need some PVC cement, and you're also gonna need a hacksaw to cut everything into pieces. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna include a link to my blog, right? And I've laid all of this out, step-by-step instructions if you wanna make one of these yourself. You don't need to be handy, you don't need to be a DIY whiz. This should be super simple, something that you can make in an hour or two if you can find these pieces and bits and bobs at your local hardware store. Okay, so I need to think about this pretty carefully. I've got two different pochade boxes. I've got my Alla Prima 8x10 Blackfoot. Now here's the 11x14 Yellowstone. This bad boy, I mean, this is pretty big. We don't need much bigger than this, but you can see the size difference. This is an 8x10 box. This is the 11x14. I do have a 6x8, which I love, but this is gonna be the box for us. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this to the width of my box. Here's my 11x14, so I need to make sure that aluminum channel is gonna fit in the inside lid of the box, and the same deal with my 8x10 there. First step is to cut all our pieces to length. I think I'm gonna make a couple of big ones out of this 11x14, and I'm gonna see if I can get 3 of the smaller ones for my 8x10. Let's get into it. So that did leave a few sharp edges there, but I'm just gonna sand those off just real quick. And it also helps for a better glue joint just to scuff up the ends where those collars and caps are going to be adhered into place. Now, one extra step is I'm gonna use a little bit of acetone here on a paper towel, and it's just gonna help me clean up where these joints are gonna occur. Just gonna rub that around the end. That's gonna help the PVC stick, but it's also gonna just clean that pipe. Get that lid on there good. The next part. We're gonna get out this nasty stuff, which is PVC cement, and this is gonna help all of our bits stick together. So you need some sort of adhesive. Highly recommend if you're gonna be using PVC, use PVC cement. Now I'm expecting this to get a little bit messy, so I'm just gonna put this down to protect my countertop here. Get my pieces ready. I've got an end cap, and I've got one of these screw collars. And I'm not a plumber, so I don't know best practices, but let's not overthink it. Let's just get the glue on the inside of that cap good. Get plenty of it on there. Beautiful. Twist it in place, get it all the way in there. Just get a rag, wipe that off. There we go, that's one end. There's one done. Okay, nothing to it but to do it. Let's go ahead and do this to the others. This PVC cement on my hand. Maybe you might want some gloves. Probably a good idea. It's horrible stuff, stinky stuff. All right, it's been about half an hour. I think we're ready to load this bad boy up. I'm gonna go plein air painting tomorrow, and I'm gonna see if this thing's gonna do what I think it will do. The theory's solid anyway. Excellent, so let's get our plein air painting colors. And here in my Pashad, here's our colors. And I'm gonna make sure that I'll get these in order. So in our tray, I'm gonna be adding the colors in chromatic order, of course. So what I'm gonna do is just add a little more than a cc, so a cubic centimeter of paint in that channel right there. And just scrape it off so I get a clean edge right there with the paint. So that's one loaded up. Transparent red oxide, transparent yellow oxide. Might be able to spread them out a little bit more than I did. So you can see how they're just sitting in there like that. Then we got titanium white, Cremnitz white, our lead-based white. A lot of bit oily, this one. Oh, good night. That is oily like all get out. Get out a little bit of paper towel. Some colors are a little more oily than others. Just wipe up a little more of that excess. Cadmium lemon, just a bit of that. Cadmium red light, quinacridone magenta, ultramarine blue, a little bit of cobalt teal, and last but not least, very punchy phthalo green. And this is why you wear gloves when you get your paint out. Always happens. Now, in theory, I should be able to get that not only into the lid of my Pashad box here, so when I clean this off and scrape this out, I might be able to just tape that down to the inside of my lid and it would just fit right there in the box. Now you could, this is shallow enough, you could just store it in the lid of the box. I'm sure it would close with that in there. What I'm gonna do is just tape it down during my painting sessions and then take it out and we put it in our little palette saving device, slides down in there. And then check this out. This is the experiment, and I'll get back to you on how this works. Just ordinary water. There we have it. It's totally submerged. Lid on. Now for bonus points, get yourself a lid with a rubber gasket. This one doesn't have one, so it might leak a little bit. Tighten that down. And I think we got a decent, it's not totally sealed, so I'll keep that in my kit so it doesn't leak out vertically. I think it's gonna be okay. I'd feel comfortable throwing that in my backpack. Because the air is not reaching the oil paint, that should stay fresh and not oxidize, right? It's not coming into contact with the air. And so theoretically, that should keep my palette safe and my colors fresh. During that plein air session, I just reach right in there, get that out, tap it off on a little bit of paper towel, chuck it in, and get painting. The same with working in the studio. So you do want to get off any of that excess water, but that's the thing about oil and water. So that's not gonna start blending in with that water or anything. It's not gonna mix. It's gonna stay pretty stuck down to that aluminum or aluminum, and then I just grab it out when I'm ready. So that's a little DIY hack. I don't know what we're gonna call it. Can I even patent something like this? Probably not. There's other things on the market that are very similar, but I wanted to show you a way that you could do it yourself. Just make this available to you for nothing. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this was of help to you. I will let you know how it goes out in the field, but I am convinced this will keep my colors fresh. So if that's the solution you've been looking for, there you go. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here in the studio, my friend. It's been a pleasure having your company. I'll see you again in the next video. Hey, Andrew. So I want to show you something. Come here. So this is a stay safe, stay wet pallet keeper. Basically, it's exactly what it looks like. It's a plumbing tube, and inside this, you got a bit of water.
Dude, that's awesome.
There you go, sir.
Thank you very much.
For you.
Hey,
do you want 11 by 14 or 8 by 10?
8 by 10, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, man. Cheers for that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So the idea is that even after you're finished with the studio painting, you scrape your paint off on that L channel and fill your tube up with water if you're going to be a while, and you'll never waste any more paint.